All right, testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Testing. Alright, I think we are good. Alright, folks, welcome back to another stream. Today we're going to be playing a mod for Doom 3 called Classic Doom 3. This was released in I think January 2006 was the release date, and basically what it does is it recreates the entire first episode of Classic Doom, Knee Deep in the Dead. So we're going to go ahead and run through that whole thing. Should be a relatively short stream compared to my normal streams. I don't think it's going to take more than 2 hours to go through. And since I already ran through it once on Twitch, and I do plan on quick saving, I will probably end up, I don't know, we might end up taking less than 2 hours. So this is not going to be the longest stream I've done in a while, but on Saturday I do plan on doing another longer game. I can't remember if I'm going to do Painkiller or if I'm going to do Slaughterhouse 2010. I don't know. I've got a couple days to think about it. So, but yeah, this is Doom 3. So if you want to play mods in Doom 3, all you have to do is go down here to this mods button here. But I'm going to let this sit for a couple minutes while we do this introduction. So, welcome everyone to the stream. I do actually plan on doing Doom 3 by itself. I just ran through the whole game for the first time in probably a decade over on Twitch earlier this week. So I'm thinking I'm gonna save it for the end of the month, maybe Halloween. I don't know if I can actually do it all in one sitting, but we'll see. You know, I have done 10 and 12 hour streams before, and it would probably take 10 plus hours to go through. But watch out for that. I will be doing that later on. Holy crap, Deadly Gaming! I haven't seen you in months, dude. How are you doing, man? I thought about reaching out to you on Facebook. Being like, hey, man, just checking in. Deadly must have been really busy. Thanks so much, Deadly. I really appreciate it, dude. Seriously. But yeah, I will be doing Doom 3 at the end of the month, so stay tuned for that. And John Donnelly had actually asked if we were going to be playing this on the Windows 98 machine, and the answer to that is no. I did actually try installing Doom 2, or sorry, not Doom 2, Doom 3 on my Windows 98 rig earlier this year, and it just doesn't install. It requires I think an NT-based operating system, so you know you can use it on Windows 2000 or you can use it on Windows XP, and it pretty much requires at least those. It doesn't work on Windows 98. It just will not install. So I'm actually curious how this would run on my Windows 98 machine, because Painkiller actually runs respectably, and you know, both games are very similar in you know, the horsepower required to get them to work properly. So, but I'm actually running this on my dual boot Windows XP / Windows 7 rig. This is just running an AMD Phenom 2 quad-core processor from about 2009 or so. So the specs more than cover, you know, the requirements for Doom 3. So I can basically run this at maxed out settings, you know, and whatnot without any issues. So, yeah, for anyone that's curious about games like this, you don't need a modern computer to run these games perfectly. Like, again, this computer I'm using right now is 10 years old, and even that's probably a little overkill for this game. So, you know, if anyone gets a hand-me-down computer, just keep in mind, you can play some really awesome games from the, you know, the early to mid-2000s and a little bit later. You don't need a cutting-edge system to play something like Doom 3 at maxed-out settings. So, plus you get the benefit of playing mods. So, which is what we're going to do here, so in just a couple minutes. But yeah, thanks everyone for stopping in, and also thanks to everyone that is continuing to back my channel via places like Patreon. Big shout out to Kyle Martin, who actually backed my channel just the other day. So thank you very much for that, Kyle. If you guys are interested in getting videos early and participating in Q&A sessions, which I'm actually looking for questions for my next Q&A session, links are in the description box below. Also, thanks to all the recent live stream super chatters and channel members. Shout out to both Justin Habu. I think I might have shouted him out last week, but also Tomcat1988. They both joined back up, so thank you guys for doing that. I really appreciate it. So, alrighty. So let's go ahead and click this mod button here. And I actually did download a couple of mods recently. Some of them require Resurrection of Evil. And I should note that we're actually using the Steam version of this game. The vanilla Steam version works perfectly fine. It's basically the last version of Doom, I think, that was released. Probably like, yeah. So it works great as long as, you know, well, it works great, yeah. So if you don't want to play the BFG edition, you can play the classic vanilla version with the flashlight and everything. Both the BFG and the original version have several differences that make you know, the experience a little bit different. You know, as far as Doom 3 itself and talking about its issues and whatever, that's a topic for another day. The topic today is classic Doom 3. But yeah, you can actually run these mods with the Steam version of the game. You don't need the original, you know, I think it's 3 or 4 CD version. So yeah, you can get it on Steam, and you can play it on Steam. So yeah, this is classic Doom 3. Like I said, it recreates Knee Deep in the Dead. And let's make sure everything is here. Yeah, I've got it at 1280 by 1024. I actually probably could raise it up, but 1280 by 1024 is kind of like a proven resolution for this capture card I'm using. So I just go ahead and stick with that. I'm not going to do any... let's see what we got here. I did want to actually make sure the brightness was up a little bit, because it would be a little dark on stream for the most part. So yeah, so we're going to raise the brightness just a little bit. And there's also the game. There is actually... I can't remember where it was. I thought there was... okay, maybe it's actually once you start a new game. So let's go ahead and start a new game. Play intro, yes. Okay, so we're going to play the intro, and we're going to put this on Nightmare. This isn't like classic PC Doom Nightmare where enemies respawn. They're just very difficult. Actually, you know, what I was going to do is play it on Hurt Me Plenty, because Nightmare is actually a pain in the ass. So, yeah, actually, I just remember now. Okay, so don't play Nightmare when you first play this game, because I forgot it adheres to Doom 3's Nightmare mode. So in Doom 3, if you play Nightmare, your health is constantly depleting until you're down to 25 health. So you're always perpetually at 25 hit points in Doom 3 on Nightmare mode. Of course, in Nightmare mode in Doom 3, you get to use the Soul Cube, which can give you health back occasionally, but you know, you don't have the Soul Cube in this mod, so yeah, don't play on Nightmare, it's just kind of dumb. So we're going to do Hurt Me Plenty, which is kind of the Ultra Violence equivalent. So Doom 3 only has 4 difficulty modes, not 5, so Ultra Violence is knocked out. And Doom 3's difficulties weren't even, like, Nightmare was the last difficulty, but the first 3 was just like the hardest, or like the 3rd difficulty was Veteran. It wasn't Ultra Violence or anything like that. It was just, you know, very militaristic, so... Yeah, so this does have an intro. The last time I played this, I actually
with the experiment.
I didn't watch this, so this should be interesting. I haven't seen this in a long time. So I did get this mod when it first came out. Well, not really when it first came out, but probably about a year after it came out, I downloaded it and ran it on an old system, and it was a ton of fun. I really enjoyed this mod. It's definitely a highly recommended mod if you're a fan of classic Doom. So there are some other tweaks as well, by the way. So yeah, lots of other tweaks I'll talk about as we play this. Hey, Desan, welcome back. And John Evan, that one guy, NIST.
Volunteer coming up, sir.
What the hell?
So what are we talking about? PCM? trying to emulate a Windows 9X system.
My God, what have I done?
Yeah, Deadly would definitely know better than that. I used Virtual PC back in the day, probably about like 9-10 years ago, and you know, it worked out okay for Windows 95. I actually have a couple of really old videos covering Windows 95 games like Soul Trap and Atomic Bomberman, and those were all done in Virtual PC. There were probably much better options nowadays. I mean, virtual machines have come a long way too. But I haven't messed around with it because I have a separate Windows 95 and 98 machine, and a separate XP and Windows 7 machine, so I do real hardware with all of it now. But
What?
yeah, if you ever Deadly, if you ever put more time into trying 98 in a virtual machine, let me know, because it's good information to know. Because there are people that are interested in playing these games, or playing old games.
All right, people. Listen up.
On, you know, their original operating systems, whether it be virtual or on real hardware. So it's just good info to know.
From Phobos, the teleportation research base.
So let's scroll up here. This intro doesn't seem all that interesting, but I'll go ahead and just let it play out, because like I said, this is going to be a relatively short stream. And DJ, Andy, MD Mr. Katana Gaming.
Either moon base have been
Welcome back, guys.
That's bullshit. Quiet down.
And,
now. Since we're the only combat troops for 50 million miles, that means we're going to Phobos.
I'm playing it on the original Xbox, or it's in the description, Andy. I'm playing on PC.
Help us all.
PC, Andy. You can't play mods on Xbox Doom 3 or PS4 Doom 3 or console Doom 3, so no mods on those versions. Arby's. Was that Archie? Did Archie change his name? Arbis. Meatpill, Mr. Bullion. And Office was out there too. Angelic Alien, Justin, Tommy, Akella, E-Dub, Mike. Mike's probably not here. Mike got in early before the stream started. You haven't put much time in emulation because of having real hardware. Yep. Yeah, you and me both, man. Actually, Deadly Gaming was an inspiration for some of my real hardware shenanigans. Both when doing Windows 98 and upgrading my PC hardware, and getting a real CRT for PC gaming, and getting a XRGB2 to run consoles on that CRT VGA monitor.
Get the hell out of...
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's just a BFG edition exclusiveness, because enemies do a lot of damage in this game too. Just vanilla Doom 3, I mean. So, okay, if you guys have never seen this before, like I said again, it recreates, you know, all the levels from Knee Deep in Dead, including the music. So the music was done by a fellow who goes by Sonic Clang, and I don't know if he's really done anything since. I should look into that, actually, but the work he did on this soundtrack is awesome, especially for 10 years ago. Over 10 years ago, it's 13 years ago now. It's crazy how long it's been since this mod has come out. But yeah, it's really awesome. If you like the visual style of Doom 3, don't mind some of the gameplay, and like classic Doom, you probably want to give this a try. It's a really awesome mod. You also have this switch down here, so it's, you know, they, you know, recreated these levels with the Ultimate Doom versions in mind, which is why I didn't write shareware episode on the description, because, you know, some of the changes are from the Ultimate Doom version. So when Ultimate Doom came out, they retweaked some of these levels, added a couple secrets and things like that. So I do have actually auto run enabled, and if you're familiar with Doom 3, you'll notice that there's no stamina bar. And so that's a really welcome change. For one, it makes it feel more like classic Doom. But two, the stamina bar in Doom 3 just got really tedious over the course of the game. I was really frustrated with it by the end of Doom 3 when I had finished up my playthrough. Yesterday, I actually finished my playthrough yesterday. I had played it for about 4 days straight. It took me quite a while to get through the game. Also, the shotgun has been tweaked, so the shotgun actually is much more accurate from a longer distance. So it's actually a very, I mean, it was a good weapon in Doom 3 as long as you were up close to enemies, but you really had to be up close to enemies. But in this, you know, it's actually really solid from a distance, so you're going to see me using it quite a bit over the course of this game. Whoa there, some funky physics there. So let's go ahead and we'll try to get as many secrets as I can. You know, as much as I play classic Doom in general, I actually don't think I know where 100% of the secrets are in the game. So we'll get as many secrets as I know about and whatnot. So one of the secrets is walking over a line over there in that hallway that will trigger that elevator to come down. Which is really awesome. They did a really awesome job recreating the stages in here and, you know, keeping a similar aesthetic in certain areas, like the, you know, these ceiling fixtures, which is kind of cool. But now you've got extra Doom 3 stuff. So this is an actual computer room. It actually looks like a legitimate room that someone could work in. You know, it's very interesting. They did a really cool job with this mod. You're gonna hear me saying that a lot over the course of this playthrough. Like, oh, they did a really good job with this, because they did, and yeah, it's awesome. So glad I downloaded this again, and I wouldn't have downloaded it again if I wasn't practicing Doom 3 for a late October stream. So, and there we go. Unfortunately, there's not much fanfare between stages, as far as, you know, yeah, there's no map or anything like that, so that's kind of a bummer, but yeah, so looks like the game was saved already. This says, basically from what you heard, the BFG edition basically ignores your armor. Oh, Doom 3 basically ignores your armor. Armor's nearly useless in Doom 3 NIST. I would have 125 armor, which is the maximum you can have without, you know, like special power-ups that extend it further. And I would have 100 health, which is also max health without special power-ups. And I would still get killed in one hit from Barons. And there were a couple enemies like that where I would still die instantly. It was very frustrating. I wasn't playing on Nightmare either. I was playing on Veteran, but I was not playing on Nightmare. So, yeah, I don't really think it's, you know, it could have been made worse in BFG Edition, but I find it hard to believe that it would be worse. And it could very well just be something that people just forgot about, because, you know, by the time BFG Edition came out, Doom 3 was 6 or 7 years old by that point, and it probably had been a long time, you know, since some people had played it, so some of the details may have been fuzzy for some folks, but I can attest after doing a full playthrough this week that the armor sucks in Doom 3. It's really terrible. Yeah, it's not good. Did I like the recent John Romero Doom episodes? Yeah, I liked it a lot. Sigil, we actually did a full live stream of it. Oops. I think I need to hit something over here. Yeah, there's a computer terminal I have to activate. Is that what I have to do? Okay, there we go. Pressure control override. So you had to hit a switch in here in the original Doom as well. But the switch is not as obvious in Doom 3. Doom 3 likes its computer terminal, so you can easily, you know, you can easily miss important things that you need to activate. But yeah, this secret's still here and everything. Yeah, like I was saying, the armor situation in just Doom 3 vanilla, it was really bad to begin with. Like, there was tons of armor over the course of the game, but I was never excited to get it. You know, I really needed more health pickups, and you know, I don't really want to go down the path of you know, complaining about Doom 3's faults, so I'm not going to do that. But I did actually have a lot of little issues with the game that in the past didn't bother me, but you know, 14, 15 years after the game came out, a lot of the things I didn't have problems with back in the day, I do have problems with now. Part of that could also be because I binge my games much differently than I did many years ago. So nowadays, because of my streaming, it's often I will, you know, complete an entire game like this in one sitting or two, Whereas back in the day, I may have, you know, tackled the game over the course of a couple weeks. You know, my pre-stream days. So that also has an effect on, you know, how much things annoy me in some of these games that I play. This is a really cool recreation too. I love the strobe light effect. It's so cool. And I apologize if the audio peaks a little bit. Do I own Power Slave on Saturn? I do, actually. I have the European version called Exhumed. We actually did a full sort of blind stream on it a few months ago, and that did not have a good time with it. I get really angry with the game in that stream. But yeah, I do have it, and we have played it here. So, some of the weapons are actually really good in this mod, but some of them aren't quite as good. Like, one of them that's not all that solid is the chain gun here. It just fires really slow in this version. I'm still going to use it a lot because it has a lot of ammo. But it's, the shotgun is definitely my preferred weapon to use, compared to it. Hey, Red! Red Dwarf over there, he actually watched me play this on Twitch earlier this week. Yeah, Arbis, it's, I should say RBs. It's probably RBs. Lights? Okay, there we go. Come on, thank you. Yeah, it runs properly. It probably actually runs a teensy tiny bit faster because of the 50 to 60 hertz difference, but it was perfectly playable. Yeah, I mean, if you want a real copy of Power Slave, but you don't want to pay like $100, then you know, the European version is the way to go. I didn't pay that much for my copy. It was probably like 20 bucks or something. Which is why I ended up getting a copy. Otherwise, I would have waited until the Satiator came out, which is going to be a device that plugs into the back of your Saturn, and it'll let you load ISOs from an SD card. But my expensive game collecting days are long over. I still, you know, have a couple of expensive games in my collection, but I don't go out and seek them. That one guy, it's on my, well, screw it. There you go. I'll just link it there. It's on my main channel page here. But there you go. I just popped it in chat too. My Twitch stuff is a little more casual. I just do a whole bunch of stuff over there. I do use it as a sort of a test bed for games I want to stream here on YouTube. So, you know, like DOOM3, for instance, I ran through the whole game on Twitch. I try to practice games on Twitch for YouTube streams. You'll see me doing that there a lot. But I also do other stuff just to kill the time. So let's go ahead and come on up here. Any news on the Satiator? Yeah, he's posting random updates here and there. He posted one earlier this week, actually, where he's getting some test systems made so he can test all the boards that come in to him after manufacturing is finished. And then he's going to get beta cartridges out to the high-end Patreon backers. So, yeah, no, he's making progress. He posts an update probably at least once a month. Go ahead and scroll up. Oh, and something I wanted to do too. My my escape key was being smashed by my headphone cable. Let's go to my controls here. Skip over here, skip over here. There we go. Had those reversed. Yeah, one reason you guys haven't seen me really doing anything Saturn is because the Satiator hasn't come out yet. And I don't really have enough games in my collection to warrant doing like a dedicated Saturn stream or anything like that. So, a lot of the Saturn games I do want to play, I just don't have access to, and I don't plan on going out and buying them, so... but once the Satiator hits, you guys will definitely see me doing more Saturn. Same with Jaguar. That's the reason we haven't done anything Jaguar related in quite a long time, because I don't have access to any of the games anymore. And so, just waiting for the flash card to arrive to me. So, Retro HQ released the flash card a couple months ago, and apparently it's really good. I ordered one, but I'm like almost 400th in line, so it's gonna be a few months before I get mine. But once that happens, you guys will see more Jag stuff too. So, yeah, with some of the platforms I haven't covered in a while, it's just me not having access to many of the games, and I'm not really affluent enough to go out and buy a lot of them just for the streams. It's just not worth it. So, I rely on this flashcards a lot these days to do what we do here with ease. Yeah, really looking forward to the Saturn one though. Saturn is one of my favorite consoles, and you know, it's a system I had back in the day. I had the Saturn when it was current on the market, and you know, it was my primary system back then. And then it was my first system I really imported games with as well. So it was my first, you know, my first experience with imports, which I still have a bit of infatuation, infatuation with imports from that era in particular. And I do have actually a Japanese PS2 as well, with a bunch of import PS1 and PS2 games, which you guys saw me play a couple of those on my PS2 stream a couple weeks ago. PS2 Shmup stream. So I'm actually doing pretty well here. One of the problems I had when I first played this is I had it hooked up to my VGA CRT PC monitor, and Doom 3 is extremely dark on that thing. But now that I can actually see what I'm doing, it's really not that bad. Yeah, the chain gun here is so slow in this version. Yeah, there's no flashlight here either, by the way, for anyone that was curious about that. Alright, let's come back up here. Oh, hell yeah, Deadly. Have you never had a mechanical keyboard before? They're awesome, man. Alright, let's leave that there for now. Hey, Hernando, welcome back. Hey, Adam. Was I bummed about the news of Doom 64? Not at all. No. Because I can play Doom 64 on my Nintendo 64. Or I can play the PC version, Doom 64 EX. I have access to both, so yeah, I get that. I get why people would be disappointed, but you know, I have many ways to play Doom 64 already, so it doesn't really bother me. I'll probably still buy a copy of the game when it comes out. Or actually, you know, what I'm going to do is try to figure out how this pre-order bonus works that Bethesda's talking about. You know, apparently pre-ordering Doom Eternal, you'll get Doom 64 for free. I have to figure out and see how that works. And I also still have to figure out what I'm going to buy Doom Eternal on. I feel like I want to do it on PC this time, since I have a PC that's strong enough to do it now. Whereas when Doom 2016 came out, I had to settle with the Xbox One version. But if the pre-order bonus is only on console, then I'll have to think about it. So, let's actually come back down here first. About the disappointment with Doom Eternal. I don't know, you know, these delays don't bother me, guys. You know, I know a lot of people are like, oh, I was really, really looking forward to it, but it's like, it's just a few months. It's not that long. So, as long as the game is good when it comes out, that's all I care about. You know, Doom has a lot to live up to. I'm not in a rush to get another Doom. And Doom, traditionally speaking, usually has long gaps between releases, so the fact that we're getting a full-blown sequel less than 4 years after the original Doom 2016 came out, I knew that was going to happen. I just was an idiot. We should be grateful for that. I mean, it was 10 years between Doom 2 and Doom 3, almost, and it was over 10 years between Doom 3 and Doom 2016, so we should really just be grateful that we've got another one coming so soon. MD Mister, what's the news about it? It just got delayed. They pushed back Doom 64 with Doom Eternal. Although that, I don't really feel that was a necessity, to be honest with you. Like, they should have just released Doom 64, rake in a little bit of holiday money, you know, from it. I would have purchased it, even though I don't really need it. But, oh well, you know. It's not the end of the world. Yeah, Meat Pill, same here, man. The Pinky model, I mean, a lot of the enemy models are pretty solid in this game. The Pinky in particular, I think, is a standout, for sure. But Doom 3's actually held up surprisingly well visually. Like, its lighting, I think, is a big part of that. Doom 3 just has an amazing lighting system. I'm gonna try to open this again. Sometimes those guys will just start shooting each other. So monster infighting is a thing in Doom 3, but when you play Doom 3 by itself, the standard campaign, you don't see it all that often because you're usually only fighting a couple enemies at a time. Like 2. You're lucky if you're fighting 2 enemies at a time for 80% of the game. It's not until the very end of the game where you start fighting, you know, 3 or 4 enemies back to back. But because this game, this mod has a lot more enemies on screen at once, you end up seeing, you know, you end up seeing monster infighting, which is really cool. And so, just like classic Doom, if you see the enemies start attacking each other, you know, just let them duke it out. Don't bother them. Alright, let's see what we got here. I don't have any grenades or anything. There we go. See, that's the wiser way to do things. Whoa! He didn't die? God, the Doom 3 barrel blast radius is terrible. Like, that guy should have been blown to bits. The barrel was right next to him. Yeah, see, that barrel worked. It's so odd. It must be a pre-order to get 64 with Eternal. Yeah, John. I mean, they want to make some money off Doom 64. They just bundle it with every copy of Doom Eternal. They won't make a dime off of it. Doom Eternal, unless it turns out to be a terrible game, which I doubt it will, you know, it's gonna sell millions of copies. Doom is one of the most popular games, one of the most popular franchises out there. It's got a very dedicated fan following, and even like more casual players will buy it. You know, it's really cool. It's really cool to see so many people enjoy Doom, the series. Yeah, the pinkies are some of the more menacing enemies in Doom 3 as well, because, you know, like the screen and the floor shakes as they run around. They've got a very deep roar as well. It's really cool. The Barons of Hell, or the Hell Knights, whatever they are in this game, are the same way. Very menacing. You gotta know the release date. Well, you can Google it, John. It's 2019, John. It's sometime in March. They announced it earlier this week, so all that information's out there. Yeah, they pushed it back to March. I think they gave a did they give a specific, like, day? I thought they did. But it's absolutely March, I know that much. There we go, we got the Soul Sphere. Of course, they call it Mega Health in this one. Yeah, it's also being sold separately. Absolutely. Just the way John put it, he made it sound like, oh, well, why? They should only bundle it with Doom 3. Oh, sorry, Doom Eternal. But yeah, it'll be sold separately, absolutely. March 20th, okay. I thought it was March 20th, but I didn't want to say anything for sure. Very cool. Yeah, yeah, it'll be great having Doom 64 on the go, Adam. Totally. Alright, so we're gonna come in here, kill some enemies. I'm gonna quick save too, because I don't want to die by accident again. Have to do the whole thing over. My initial playthrough of this earlier this week, which is actually what got me to do this stream. I downloaded the mod and I played through it all the way. Is, you know, on my initial stream of this, I ended up not quick saving, and I died a lot. So I had to redo these levels a bunch of times, and it got kind of tiresome. So, whoa there. You weren't supposed to be there. Oh man, if Doom Eternal came out in 4/20/20, that would be amazing. That's my birthday. I don't know if I've ever had like a major video game release I've been looking forward to releasing my birthday. Okay, we've got some shielded guys here. These guys are really annoying. Very much like in Doom 2016. I completely forgot that Doom 3 had shielded guys in it. Because you don't see them very often, and then when you do see them, they just really catch you off guard. Alright, so we are going to do the secret stage, you know. I said, we are going... Okay, we are going to do... Jeez, door, what was that? It's like the game didn't want me to do the secret stage. It was like, you're locked in now. Yeah, I'm going to come over here, get some power-ups, and then we're going to go back and do the secret exit so we can get ourselves the secret stage. Yeah, it's some peaky spawns. This is different. In the original Doom, you had enemies pinned outside that you would attack. So none of that here. So there are changes. There are quite a few changes and liberties taken with the you know, the level recreations. Man, it looks so good too, man. They did such an awesome job with this. Every time I play this, I'm always impressed by it. Does the day before count as a pre-order? I have no idea, man. I would just... I don't know. It's gonna depend on how the pre-order system is set up. Like, will you get it if you pre-order a copy from GameStop? Physically. You know? Or does it have to be download only? And does it have to be... by a certain date? We don't know yet. We don't know those details yet. You know? But I'm sure we will know them as it gets closer. And I just realized how, like, severely dated this stream is gonna be in a few months. Once Doom Eternal comes out. It's one of the problems with live streams and talking about current day things. You know, in my Let's Plays, I try to avoid talking about, like, upcoming things. So people watching my videos 5 or 10 years down the road, you know, the content will be a little more relevant rather than just being a time capsule. But it is what it is. Can't see any confirmation of Doom 64 being free for the UK. Yeah, we'll see. I wouldn't rule it out completely just yet. Alright, switch over to our rocket launcher. Alright. Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned it yet, but you guys have probably noticed. Or maybe you haven't noticed because, you know, you don't need to do this in Classic Doom. But you don't have to reload in this game anymore. That was a big, big pet peeve of mine playing through Doom 3 this past week, is the reloading got really annoying after a certain period of time, because you'd be in the middle of a firefight, run out of ammo, and be screwed. So, very welcome addition here, not having to reload. So, some weapons have been tweaked, they feel better, and you don't have to reload. It's just win-win all around. Man, I love this soundtrack too. Okay. Let's go ahead and quick save it. Oh yeah, there's a Spectre. So Spectres don't exist in Doom 3. They added them in this mod, which really catches me off guard. I've gotten wrecked by the Spectres so many times because they're so hard to see. There's a secret down here. Help? Okay, there we go. Yeah, definitely. A lot of work was put into this. I was always disappointed that they never did episodes 2 or 3. I mean, hell, while we're at it, or 4. But, you know, kudos to them for at least doing one episode and putting as much work into it as they did. I missed the key, by the way. I made this mistake last time I played. Oh, I didn't flip the switch. That's right. No, I did. That's how those doors open. There it is. Yeah, so there's some slight changes. That's, you know, in the original game, the key's just like sitting on the floor. Oops, wrong way. Huh, that's interesting. This is already... Huh. This is just locked. Okay, interesting. That's a big difference. In PC Doom, you raise a bridge that lets you cross. In this, the bridge is already there, but the door is locked. So that's interesting. And this secret is way more obvious now. It's just a crawl space. Oops. Oh well, not a big deal. Alright, we'll just stick with the shotgun here. Some of the force damage areas are worse in this, though. I will say that. This one's not too bad because you can actually sit up on the side now, which is really cool. But there are a couple of areas where you have to go through a swampy part. I want to say... I think map 6 is the one I'm thinking of. Is it map 6? Yeah. Wait. Yeah, it's map 6. And that one is really bad. Hey, Liberal Arts Guy, welcome back. Yeah, for anyone that has Doom 3 that wants to try this out, I do have a link in the description box below with a link to the mod DB page for this mod. So it's not hard to get it actually installed at all. Fortunately, it's one of those mods that comes with an installer, and all you have to do is just install it to the same folder that Doom 3 is installed, and then it will just take care of the rest. And it seems like most Doom 3 mods are kind of like that. Either they have an installer, or you just drop them into your Doom 3 folder, and there's not much else you have to do. And then you just fire up Doom 3, you click on the mods icon on the bottom right, and then that's it. I'm actually not going the right way. This is actually that's the exit over there. I don't have bones. What's happening here? We are playing a game. That is what's happening here. Oh yeah, the swastika is here too. That was patched out of later versions of classic Doom. Too offensive for people, apparently. And I'm still going the wrong way. I actually need to go back because there's a bunch of health and whatnot that I need to get. So let's go do that first. After we kill this imp that I heard teleport in. There we go. Yeah, it's an interesting take on that room, Justin, definitely. Because in the original Doom, you know, it's an actual structure that goes up to the ceiling, and it falls, it sort of like falls down or lowers down. And that effect is completely missing here, which is kind of a bummer, but it's okay. Well, I was gonna say it's more realistic that, you know, the walls don't drop down, because who would design that in their, when they're architecting this base? But then again, who would, unless it's a white supremacist base, who would architect a swastika into the floor? I don't know. It's a video game. I probably shouldn't think too deeply about it. Alright, back to... let's do the rocket launcher. I've got almost no health. Yeah, not many medkits on this level, surprisingly. There were a lot in the previous stage. Liberal Arts guy, yeah, no, there aren't any mods as far as I'm aware of recreating episodes 2 and 3. Which is a bummer, because this is so awesome. Alright, let's go ahead and quick save. I don't know if I can make this, but we're gonna try. 1, 2... okay, we got it. Good. So we can come up here, and there's a soul sphere. Yeah, no, Justin, there's the supercharge. We just got it. I just didn't have enough health to try to go get it. My health was too low. I didn't think I'd make it. Alright, so we're back in business. Alright, the hallway. I like the aesthetic here. The purple lighting. Very cool. Okay. It's like, what's shooting at me? Why do you have to prefer one or the other, liberal arts guy? Why can't you just have both? That's the glorious thing about mods. You can have them all, even the crappiest ones. But both Brutal Doom and Classic Doom 3, very different mods, but both very excellent mods for what they do. Yeah, you guys are gonna like the hell environments here too. There's a couple interspersed throughout the stages, which is really nice. Hey Ethel, welcome back. Oh man. Ugh. Yeah, I'm gonna, you know, I've messed with Brutal Doom on and off since the earliest versions, but never put a ton of time into it. And so what I'm going to do eventually is get comfortable with it, then we're going to go through Classic Doom with the Brutal Doom mod, because I know a bunch of you guys would like to see that. Hey, Doomstash. Yeah, Katana, that would have been nice if they could do that. This mod did come out at a time, though, where Doom 3 was still, fairly demanding. You know, 2006, just not even a full 2 years after Doom 3 came out, actually, is when this mod was released. So one of the reasons bodies disappear in Doom 3 is most likely just due to, you know, system constraints. The fact that most computers, when Doom 3 came out, could barely run it at a stable frame rate was probably a good reason why bodies disappear in this game. And I wonder if there's a way where, if there was a way for mappers and modders to keep the bodies in, or if it's just inherently baked into Doom 3 and it can't be fixed. I don't know. It'd be interesting to know. That beeping sound, I feel like I'm playing a Halo game. There we go. Oh, that's right. It doesn't go up automatically. I'm so used to the original Doom. So this is a little bit different. They chased me around this way? They did. Wow, sneaky. Dark Souls ragdoll physics, yeah. so I'm gonna come over here. There's actually another supercharge and a chainsaw if you don't have one, in case you decide to try to do these levels pistol starting. Alright, there is armor over there, but I don't really care about it. And there is a Spectre here. Yeah, there he is. He's right in front of me. You don't want to get cornered by those guys, man. The pinkies in general do so much damage, and when I first played this... There's another one right here. I kept dying to the Spectres. I think there might be some more health up here too. Let's try it. No health. Okay, that's not cool. Spawned a pinky right behind me. Alright. Alright, I'm gonna roll back too. Probably not the best idea. Yeah, definitely not the best idea. That was actually a really bad idea. The idea was to get some health back. Clint just found my channel a couple days ago. Thanks for checking it out. I appreciate it. Welcome. Yeah, so we got 82 health, but we're probably gonna go back down to at least 60 something, going back to where we were. Looks like there is some form of bunny hopping in here. I don't know if that's inherent to just Doom 3 or if it's this mod. Okay, we backed up files for some reason. Interesting. Alright, there's some more health. Oh. So, one thing about Doom 3 is that when you take a hit, there's knockback. Like your camera gets thrown all out of whack. And it can be hard to realign yourself. And so when an enemy just like ambushes me by surprise, it always throws me off. So I'll take a hit and then my camera will get knocked back. And then a lot of times I'll take extra hits because I can't refocus in time. Dead? I think he's dead. Alright, awesome. We got it. Alright, good stuff. Good progress. Good progress. I got stuck on that level last time I played it. Yeah, Xbox Doom 3 is actually a really solid game. I went back to it earlier in the year for... Actually, maybe not earlier in the year. Might have been last year. But, you know, I played it for a couple hours, and it still holds up really well. It plays very well. Oh, there. Hey Aaron, how are you doing today? Alright, we're gonna come over this way. The music is done by Sonic Clang. And you can actually see videos of him playing these songs live. Not really live, but... well, there are old YouTube videos of him like drumming to the songs as he was recording them and whatnot. That's pretty cool. I don't know if he's done anything else, but yeah, he did a really good job for this mod. And I'm pretty sure you can just go download the tracks from his website or some other place on the internet. I have the whole album on my PC from many, many years ago when he made them available. Honestly, Liberal Arts Guy, after playing through Doom 3 from start to finish this week, I feel like having a few parts cut is probably a good thing. Doom 3 really overstays its welcome. The game is way too long for the kind of gameplay that you have to deal with. It gets very tedious. I still like Doom 3, but I don't respect it as much as I used to after playing through it this week. And I talked about it on my Twitch stream. I think a big part of the problem is that Doom 2016 exists. And for the longest time, I could appreciate Doom 3 for what it was, because it was the latest Doom that we had, along with the expansion, Resurrection of Evil. Now with Doom 2016, you know, that game just, way closer to Doom than Doom 3 ever was. And it's so much more fun, to me. So, you know, a lot of Doom 3's, you know, issues for me just really stuck out like a sore thumb on this last playthrough. I used to be a staunch Doom 3 defender. Not really a Doom 3 defender, but, you know, I always thought it was a good game, and I still think it's a good game. But I think time hasn't been very kind to some of its gameplay elements. Like, I don't mind the flashlight mechanic, but it's just something that gets really tedious 10 hours into the game. You're still having to whip out your flashlight every 5 seconds. 10 hours into the game. So had there been more consideration taken into that mechanic, where like the last, say, 40% of the game is lit up better to where you don't really need to use the flashlight. Like if you were in the hell environments more often, where they don't even give you a flashlight, you know, that would have eradicated that tedium. And then same with all the switch hunting. You know, you're constantly hunting for switches in that game to open up some pressurized chamber or something stupid that no one really even cares about 10 hours into the game. The stamina meter, you know, every time the stamina meter runs out, you have to wait for it to charge back up, which they're basically forcing you to walk, and that kills the momentum. Which, again, 10 hours into the game, you don't want to be dealing with. There are actually exceptions. When you go to Hell, your stamina meter is maxed out, but Hell lasts literally like 15 minutes in the game. It's a really short amount of time. I mean, it's a little bit longer, but it feels like 15 minutes once you know, after you've gone through it. And so, like, your relief from the stamina bar restraints is lifted for only a very tiny portion of the overall playthrough. So there's just a lot of things that add up to a lot of tedious moments in Doom 3. It just becomes tedious. The monster closets, I mean, I never really complained about that in the past, but man, when I was at the end of the game and I was opening up a door and an imp still did the jump scare thing and just lunged right out at me, I was like, come on, man. Come on, this is just tedious. It's tedious. So, back to my original play, Doom 3 on Xbox having stuff cut, I think is probably actually a good thing. You know, normally I wouldn't say that's a good thing, but Doom 3 is also a long game. So it's not like classic Doom where you can bolt through it in 2 hours and you know what you're doing. And this is one of the force damage areas I was talking about, by the way. So yeah, I mean, Doom 3 original Xbox might actually be one of the more ideal ways to play the game now. As long as you don't mind its downgrades, you know, lower frame rate and lower resolution. Although if you're playing on CRT, you're not going to notice the lower resolution aspect as much, as the game was designed with CRTs in mind back then. Yeah, like I said, I still like Doom 3. I just don't like it as much as I used to. It was never my favorite Doom because, like, I mean, come on, it's unless you're just someone that, for some reason, prefers more like survival horror stuff, which there are people out there like that, it's really, really hard to outdo the original Doom. I mean, those games are just so well made, and it's so much fun. And there's still so much life in them too, with like their infinite expandability. It's just fantastic. And you know, Doom 3 it's a different experience. Very different experience. But honestly, if Doom 3 was a little more like this, without like, you know, the arbitrary missions that you have to take care of, like, again, having to clean up toxic waste from rooms just so you can get through them and stuff like that. It's like having to shuffle through PDAs to unlock doors and blah blah blah. If it was more like this, I think Doom 3 would have been much more well received, even on the same engine. Because like just playing this right here, having some basic quality of life improvements. For one, you don't even need a flashlight. The game is treated more like classic Doom, where like, yes, there are dark environments, but you can get out of them pretty easily, or the lights go off for just a few moments. You're not in perpetual darkness in this. So that's a mechanic you don't even have to worry about, so it never becomes tedious. And you don't have a stamina bar. But the game is still plenty realistic too with its environments and lighting. I feel like if Doom 3 had gone this route from a game design perspective, I think the game overall would still be better received even to this day. I think it would hold up better. They were very smart in making Doom 2016 more like this. Obviously, still, you know, cutting-edge engine, great graphics. It's just really incredible to look at still. Even almost, you know, even 3.5 years after it came out. The gameplay is just so fast and fun. And it's straightforward. Just like classic Dooms were. More Spectres here. So there, that's my Doom 3 rant for the stream. I said I wasn't gonna do it, but I just did it. It's really hard to help myself sometimes. You know, speaking of which, with all like the complaints I just mentioned, the tedium, I should say, with Doom 3, I'm actually really curious to try BFG edition now, because I bought that on console when it first came out many years ago, and I was really annoyed that you had to. The run function couldn't be remapped to a different key, so you had to like click down the analog stick on the Xbox 360 version to run, which, man, you want tedium, having to click down an analog stick to run was super annoying, so I just gave up on that version pretty early on, just a couple hours in. But now that I got BFG edition on PC, I think I'm going to try to play it on that sometime soon, just to make comparisons, because I know a bunch of things have been altered in that version and tweaked. Apparently there's a lot more ammo. You got the flashlight on, you know, some of your guns. Yada yada yada. I'm gonna see if the game is less tedious than the original Doom 3. Doom VFR, I haven't played it. I want to play it, but I haven't played it. And speaking of which, I need to hook up my Oculus Rift. It's been sitting on a table of mine for like 6 months now. I shifted, like the computer it was hooked up to, I shifted to a different part of the room. So I need to, I still haven't hooked up the headset to it again after moving the PC. Just have so much other stuff to do, and I'm lazy, which doesn't help. Hey, Kazuya, welcome back. Yeah, Doom 3 was much less action-packed than 1 and 2. Absolutely. Not even just a little bit less action-packed. It was much less action-packed. And that also added to the tedium of the game. There we go, we got some infighting. Fatality. Did you hear that sound? It goes whack. That's great. Oh, man. Yeah, so, you know, part of the tedium of Doom 3 as well was, you know, you go into a room, you see the blatant teleportation effect, and then an imp appears. You know, you kill the imp. Preferably running up into its face and blasting it in one hit with the shotgun. And then it happens again, like 5 seconds later. You know, teleportation effect, and then an imp. And it's just like that for the entire game. And then when enemies are already there on screen, a lot of times it's jump scare type effects where, you know, there's an imp like ducking on the floor right in front of you, and it just lunges out at you, and there's almost nothing you can do in moments like those. So it gets tedious. The end of the game does get a lot busier. You'll have, you know, sometimes 4 or 5 enemies fighting you back to back. Sometimes at the same time, and it's much more intense, but by that point in the game, you're like, I've been playing for 10 hours. I don't care. I just don't care. You know? This is how some of the action should have been early on in the game. Bad Boy Lives! Doom on! Thank you for your donation. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, Doom Stash. The fall damage in Doom 3 was really it was dumb. I understand why it's there. The game is obviously trying to be a lot more realistic than the classic games, but the game also kind of contradicts itself in a lot of situations too, because you know there are a lot of unrealistic things about it as well. So you just think like, I don't know. It definitely leaned too far in the realism direction. Also, your movement is quite slow. Quite slow in Doom 3. Even when you're holding on the run key, you still feel like you're walking on tar sometimes, especially when you're sidestepping. Yeah, no, this mod is great, Kazuya, absolutely. They might have increased the speed here a tiny bit. Yeah, overall, I'd say the speed here feels fairly accurate to original Doom 3. The big difference in original Doom 3, again, is that you've got to hold down the run button to run, and your stamina only lasts so long before it has to charge back up. So there are a lot of times where you're just forced to walk in Doom 3, and so the movement feels excruciatingly slow when you're walking. And this feels so much better, too, fighting, like, 4 enemies at once. Ah, it's nice. This is a really cool looking room too. Actually reminds me of the end room in the first level of Doom 64 with the rotating lights. It's really cool. Hey Crestline, how are you doing? But yeah, again, for anyone that's curious about this, you know, I've got a link in the description box. I don't know if you can still buy vanilla Doom 3 on PC. I assume you can. So if you want to play this, Doom 3 on PC is like 10 bucks, I think. I don't think it's expensive these days. And then the mod is free. And actually, there are quite a few Doom 3 mods out there. I checked earlier this week. It's pretty interesting. There's actually quite a bit out there. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and just fall down here. Actually, I didn't mean to do... Let me actually reload that. Yeah, so you want to come here first, get that. This was added. And then there's actually some more stuff here, too. I don't know if I can get back over. Yeah, I can't get back over, so let's go ahead and reload one more time. Hey, Anson, how are you doing, man? Oops. Let me just fall down. Fall down. Are you kidding me? I can't get over there? I thought I got over there before. Just by jumping like that. So let me see if I can scoot my way over here. Okay, we did it. Cool. Yeah, I wanted to get this first. Grab that. Grab that. See if there's some guys in here. Yep. Now we're gonna go back. The original Doom 3 is $5 now? I didn't know that. I figured it would still be like 10 bucks. That's a really good deal. Maybe it's 10 bucks if you get it and Resurrection of Evil together. BFG edition is 20. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, there are no radiation suits in this, so that is one downside. Thankfully, they added some platforms here, though, so you don't have to take as much damage. But we always want to come down here anyway, because this feeds us right to where we need to go, which is here. See, this is one of the other issues with enemies just teleporting in like this. You just kind of get in their face and then just blast them the second they become available. Oops, no, we have to go this way. $10 with Resurrection of Evil. Okay, that's the way to go then, because a bunch of Doom 3 mods actually require Resurrection of Evil. And I think the reason for that is Resurrection, I think, might have a couple of new enemies, but it also has some new weapons. Like the double-barreled shotgun, the super shotgun, and the, what is it? What's the gun called? It's not the gravity gun, right? Gravity gun was Half-Life, wasn't it? But there's a gun that's equivalent to Half-Life's gun, where it can pick up objects and throw them back at enemies. So yeah, if you're gonna do some Doom 3 mods on PC, it is worth having both Resurrection and Doom 3 Vanilla. Unfortunately, BFG Edition, very difficult to get mods working with that. I think there are some workarounds, if I've read right, on Doom World. but, you know, it's easiest to just use the original Doom 3 and Resurrection of Evil. So, I'm gonna actually come back in. There actually aren't any enemies on the other side like there are in the original Doom. The Grabber? Is that what they call it? That sounds like a name for a sexual predator. The Grabber. Yeah, no door here either. So normally in original Doom, you know, these rooms are split off by doors. So this is done a little bit differently. You can tell there were some shortcuts made. You know, some concessions made. But what happens is, instead of a door opening and a bunch of guys filtering out, it's guys start teleporting in. I believe that's what happens. When we come here, we hit this. I don't know why it says call lift. Oh, well, I guess it... Okay, it makes sense, because the end switch is actually a lift. That's why it says call lift. It is a little confusing. Usually when you see a call lift button in Doom 3... like, there's an actual lift right next to you that you can see, so the switch actually makes a little more sense. So we're actually almost done with this stream already, by the way, guys. This next level is our last level. And it's a short one. So thanks for watching, everyone. Yeah, like, comment, favorite, subscribe. All right, see ya, Andy. You're almost at the end, Andy. You don't want to see the rest? This level will take us like 2 minutes to finish. Yeah. Yeah, Kazuya, I don't blame you, man. I felt the exact same way this week when and I'm dead. That's what I get for not using the rocket launcher. No, I felt exactly the same this week. I mean, I was bored halfway through the game. And by the end of the game, I was just cursing up a storm because the game just refused to end. It just dragged on and on and on and on. You got 34 rockets. I think I'm good, guys. I'll make this fast for Andy. There we go. Got our supercharge, or soul sphere. It's known as both. Don't really need any of those. I haven't really been using the chain gun all that much. Part of the reason for that is that you have a lot of hit scanners in this game, and because the chain gun doesn't really stun them or anything, like a chain gun in classic Doom will stun a lot of the hit scanners, even though a lot of the hit scanners only take a couple hits anyway. In that game, you know, the chain gun's a lot more useful on little popcorn enemies. But in this game, it's just, it fires so slow, it doesn't do the damage fast enough, and it doesn't really counter their attacks. I think they might have given these guys more health. I don't know. If they did, then kudos to them. Because these guys don't take that many hits in Doom 3. Although then again, my chain gun's a lot better in Doom 3 than it is in this mod. And that's it. That is the game. So there is an ending, but as you know, as far as all the levels are concerned, that is pretty much it. Carlos is out there. I don't think I said hello to Carlos earlier. I didn't see him out there.
Once you beat the big badasses and clear out the moon base, you're supposed to win, aren't you?
Yeah, the transportation animation is in Doom 3. That's just ripped straight from Doom 3. Thanks for the GGs, guys. I appreciate it. I'll remind the channel members out there, we do have a GG emote. Courteous of Red Dwarf, he gave us that recommendation, so I implemented it last year. Nice, Gary.
What the hell is this? It's not supposed to end this way. It stinks like rotten meat, but it looks like the lost people's kids. Looks like you were stuck on the shore of hell. The only way out is through.
Yeah, no episode 2 or 3, unfortunately. I sometimes wonder if the reason they put cutscenes in was because they were planning on following it up with episode 2 and 3. But, yeah, it was never a thing, unfortunately, which is really a bummer because this mod is pretty incredible. Like, it's a lot of fun to play. Yep, just episode 1. Yeah, and that's why I said this was going to be a shorter stream than usual. Yeah, so there you go. Brian Klein, Sonic Clang. He did the music. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that, though. I mean, I know a bunch of you guys out there probably haven't even seen it before, so, you know, it's always fun being able to show off new things to people like that. And for those of you guys that are familiar with it, hopefully it gave you a good refresher. Maybe it'll motivate you to try it again. Like, for me, I had completely forgotten about it. And it wasn't until I fired up Doom 3 earlier this week to practice for a late October stream that I remembered it, and I went ahead and grabbed it and just started playing it. I was like, oh man, this was still so much fun. It's great. Alright, see ya, Andy. Take care. Yeah, really fun mod. So, yeah, again, if anyone that is interested in checking this out, it is, yeah, links are in the description box below. And actually, you know what I'll do is I'll go ahead and quit, and then, continue that download. Yeah, so we just, yeah, even if you just Google Classic Doom 3, it just pops up right here. And you go to ModDB here, and then, you know, it's got the description and everything, and then you can just click on Classic Doom 3 Final. And, oh, it was July 2006. I thought it was January 2006. Whoops, my bad. Yeah, and it looks like some of the early versions came out in late 2005. I love these mod sites, man. And look at this, yeah. I mean, it's a pretty well-regarded mod, too. Average rating here is 9.2. which is pretty good. Yeah, and I can't rate it, but I would definitely give it a 10. It's an excellent mod. So yeah, you can get it here at ModDB, and then again, if you want to play it, I wonder if it's on GOG. Let's see. So we'll search Doom 3. Yeah, Doom 3 is only $5, and then Resurrection of Evil is only $8. And if you get both of them together, it's 10. That's funny. You can actually buy them both separate, and it costs you less. So yeah, I mean, you could just get Doom 3 really cheap, and then you can download that mod for free, like I said. So let's see what Doom 3 is on GOG, because some people are all about that DRM free stuff. And oops. So it looks like GOG only has the BFG edition, so you'd have to get it on Steam. Now you can use this mod with the original physical CD version as well. So if you have a physical copy of Doom 3 and an older PC that can run it, well, I don't know. It might even work on a modern system in Windows 10. I haven't tried it recently though, but you could try it. You know, if you got it, you might as well try it. As long as you have a CD-ROM drive. A lot of people don't have disk drives anymore. But yeah, you can get Doom 3 very cheap, and just download the mod for free. So, oops. Yeah, so there we go, guys. That was Doom, classic Doom 3 on PC. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Yeah, for anyone curious, we're running this on an older system, so you know, I've got Windows 7 running on here, and well, I think never mind. It's a Phenom 2 quad core. It's an old system, and yeah, that's right. Click 2 links instead of 1, save $2. But yeah, this is an old system, but it still runs stuff like Doom 3 like perfectly. It's great. And something I wanted to mention about Doom 3 itself was that something you have to keep in mind with original Doom 3 is that the original vanilla version doesn't have widescreen resolutions. So you need to actually download a patch if you want to get like modern day 16:9 resolutions, which is why we were playing it in 4:3. Or I think 1280 by 1024 is actually 5:4, but it's still a similar ratio. So that's why we were playing it in my 4:3 template. So just to FYI, guys, if you do get Doom 3, you will need to patch it. But there are patches on ModDB as well, simple patches that'll allow you to throw it into modern, 16:9 resolutions, like 1280 by 720, or there might be 1920 by 1080. Which is 1080p. So yeah, just something to keep in mind if you do check it out. So, but alrighty, folks, that is gonna do it. So thanks a lot for hanging out. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. Yeah, I'll probably be back Saturday with another October stream. Not probably, definitely. I'm trying to double up my streams guaranteed all this month in October. And I'm also trying to double up my Let's Play uploads. So, we're uploading Let's Plays every week now for just October, while I can bear it. Then we'll go back to bi-weekly Let's Play uploads starting in November. And, yeah, so watch out. Sunday will be another Let's Play for you guys. It'll be a Castlevania video, actually. Castlevania Let's Play. So, yeah, watch out for that. And, yeah, so yeah, stay tuned for that. I haven't decided on if I'm going to do Splatterhouse on Saturday or if I'm going to do Painkiller. We will see. So stay tuned for that. It'll probably be one of those two. And then later on in this month, I'm going to try to do Castlevania Dracula X on Saturn, or Dracula X Nocturne in the Moonlight. I did give up on Lords of Shadow, so don't expect to see that this month. I had wanted to do it, but I started playing it last week and got fed up with it, so probably not going to see that. One of the Let's Plays might be Dracula X Chronicles again, the true final boss, so stay tuned for that. And I'll be practicing some other stuff in between for some other streams. So, But yeah, stay tuned. Should be a fun rest of the month, guys. So, but yeah, take it easy. Have yourselves a great day or great night wherever you are. And archive should be up tomorrow. And until the next one, take it easy.